think I'm finally getting over my cope of the Eagles and Chiefs being the teams that are in the Super Bowl. I don't think I'm alone in wanting the Commanders and Bills to be the ones that were playing. That would have had a really cool old school feel, something we haven't seen in a while. But as my bias has slowly eroded away, the sports fan in me has come out a little bit and recognized the historic significance of this upcoming Super Bowl. The Chiefs, they're trying to make history. They're trying to be the first three-peat ever. And even though the Patriots fan in me is screaming, no, please, no, don't do it. But the sports fan in me is saying, damn, that would actually be really epic. And I can't lie, Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, they're very likable guys. So which team really has more on the line here? Which team would benefit more from a win or suffer more from a loss? On the surface, yeah, it would seem the Chiefs going for a three-peat have so much more to play for. Drink your water. But if you look at what the Eagles are trying to do and what they're trying to establish, the foundation they're trying to lay, you could actually argue that the Eagles have much more on the line. Whether or not we like it or not, the Chiefs are in the middle of their dynasty, their title runs. It's not going to stop for another 10 years. Question is, will they have the tools to keep winning the Super Bowls? As we've seen throughout history, dynasties always go through ups and downs. They're not going to keep winning the Super Bowl every single year. I guess if they do, that would really solidify, I guess Pat Mahomes is probably the greatest athlete of all time. If he won 8 in a row like Bill Russell, that would break the internet. He would be the greatest athlete of all time. But odds are that's not going to happen. Once Travis Kelce retires, that will create a massive vacuum in their offense. But that day's not here yet. If the Chiefs were to lose this game, it's honestly not that big of a deal. Reality is Travis Kelce will come back because you know he's not going to retire on a Super Bowl loss. Although that would make for an awesome Taylor Swift song. I feel like the Chiefs would just load up even harder next year and come back for that title again. And even if they lost next year, they have the next 10 years, like I said, to keep trying to go after that Super Bowl. As long as they have Andy Reid, as long as they have Pat Mahomes, there's really not much that stands in their way. They're going to find a way into that AFC Championship nearly every year, just like the Patriots. And yes, I'm going to keep bringing up the Patriots as long as I can, because as of right now, until the Chiefs win this third in a row, if they do it, the Patriots are still the greatest football dynasty of all time. Let me have that. But if the Eagles lose 2 Super Bowl losses in 3 years, that's going to be really hard to overcome as an organization. As a player, Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, that's going to be something that really creates a lot of change over there. But Jalen Hurts is already the first quarterback in history who lost their initial Super Bowl to make it back to the big game, to have an opportunity to win it again. So if Jalen loses his first 2 Super Bowls, I really don't know if they're going to get back here so easily. Once the Commanders really stack up and go even deeper, it could be that much harder for the Eagles to make it back. But if the Eagles win, that would be 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years with 1 victory, and that would put them in place to get right back to the Super Bowl next year. The average age on the Eagles is about 25 years old, which means they have a really bright future ahead of them. And for a franchise that only has 1 Super Bowl win, if they win here, they're going to double their amount of wins. They're going to set the table for another dynasty within the NFL. I can only imagine how much the NFL is watering at the mouth, thinking how much they would make with 2 dynasties ongoing in their league at the same time. That's like Lakers Celtics legendary, which, as I say that, it just gave me a potential nightmare scenario of seeing the Eagles and Chiefs in the Super Bowl year after year after year, like maybe the Warriors and the Cavs, or like the Lakers and the Celtics. Diversity in Super Bowl appearances makes the league better. We want more people to be winning. But at the same time, we do know that dynasties make the leagues more popular. People hate watch, which is a real thing. People just want to see people lose. That's a thing in today's society, unfortunately. It really could go either way when you think about who has more on the line. I would honestly say it's so easy to pick the Chiefs, but I would say it's the Eagles. If the Eagles lose this Super Bowl, that could be curtains for their organization for the next couple years, for the next decade, right? I mean, they could argue they get right back to the Super Bowl, but I feel like they can move on from Jalen Hurts, which means you have to start over at quarterback, which is never easy. Serious, drink your water. And if the Chiefs lose, what's the big deal? They're going to get right back to the Super Bowl next year, most likely. And even though you could argue that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it's really not. The way the league is set up now, wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win 2 more in a row later and they have an opportunity to do this again. I mean, we really could be in the middle of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl for the next 10 years, but again, we'll see. Joe Burrow might have something to say about that. Josh Allen could have something to say about that. Lamar Jackson, he's still got to get his Super Bowl. There's a lot of opportunity for so much good storytelling, narration for the future of the NFL. The problem is, none of them might ever get past Pat Mahomes, and that would be a major case for Pat Mahomes' GOAT case, that he kept away people like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, these people that were so good, that dominated in the regular season, but they just couldn't get past him when it mattered most. What are your thoughts? Who has more on the line? Who really do you think is going to suffer more if they lose? And who do you think would benefit more from winning? All right, it feels kind of good to be excited about this game. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was really upset to see the Chiefs and the Eagles right back in the Super Bowl, but considering they're really good teams, this could be an amazing game, a revenge game. I'm just hoping it comes down to an amazing fourth quarter, an amazing game. Let me know in the comments what you think the score is going to be, who you think the MVP is going to be, and what's your favorite food to eat at the Super Bowl party? No, I'm serious. That's actually a good question. All right. That's enough yapping for today. Almost every one of my channel's viewers is not subscribed to the channel. Do me a huge favor and hit that subscription button. We're trying to get monetized. My dog and I. And if you enjoyed this video, think about watching either of these videos that's on the screen. Go out there and do something great.